War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. While this and countless other battles rage on, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This video is brought to you by the support of our channel members and the FLGS Partners, Warfire Minis, and X-Planet. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! We are excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar 4th edition. My name's Jordan, I'm joined by JF tonight, bringing out your Daughters of Khaine.
Oh yeah, first time in 4th edition. Very eager to test it out.
Yes, and I'm playing the Flesh Eater Cohorts as chosen by our channel members. They did a say in what we play, and a lot of them wanted to see the Flesh Eaters and Big Papa Ushoran as well.
I brought the opposing Big Mama.
Yes, yeah.
So
yeah, the big heroes, a lot of people are talking, they might be a big part of the meta, so we'll find out tonight. But jumping into the mission, we are playing focal points. So we've got 5 objectives on the table. It's hold 1, hold 2, hold more for storing, but you only store 1 point for each of those. And then there's 3 bonus points if you hold the 2 home objectives or the 2
flank objectives.
That's it. And then also from the second battle round onwards, whoever the underdog is can make the center objective count as a home or a flank objective. So that actually helps for potentially getting those 3 bonus points. Is pretty massive, right?
It's as valuable as the 1-2 more.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but that's it, JF. So do you want to take us through your Daughters of Khaine list?
Yes, so it is my first game ever of the 4th edition. And as a general overview, Dark hasn't changed that much in its core, how it works. In a sense, as still the blood rights table, which are mostly the same as it used to be. As my general has to be, in fact, more at Khaine. But my heroic trait will be the Melusai Iron Scale, which will have Zealous Orator. She rallies like 9 dice instead of 6s. I run, as I said, more at Khaine with the Shadow Queen. They work exactly the same. Melusai Iron Scale is my other hero. With her, I have 2 packs of Spear Snake and 5 pack of Bow Snakes. We'll see the bows change a lot from the previous edition. No more mortal wounds. They shoot closer. It's 18 inch. So we'll see what they do. And then units of Shadow Stalkers, 5 Keener Eyes in the sky, and then 5 Doomfire Warlock. They can cast any spell, and they're great. They move 14.
Nice. Well, as you have said with your Daughters of Khaine, a lot of the Flesh Eater stuff is very similar to what it was before. And I've got a few key staples in here. First off, my battle formation is the Royal Menagerie. So it's going to let one of my monsters in my combat phases strike first on a 3-up. I can attempt it on one of them. And I do have two big monsters. One of them, obviously, Ushoran, as I mentioned before. He's a Big Papa. He does a lot of the same things he does before, highlighted by potentially making 3 units he's in combat with strike last. And then I have the Dual Khaine Terrorgeist. He's got both my heroic trait and my artifact. The trait is Stronger in Madness to give him +2 wounds, and he gets a 5-up ward save when he's at 6 noble deed points, so just kind of making him a little tankier. And then his artifact is Heart of a Guardian, so once per game he can give both the rider and the mount, so the companion attacks as well, can gain +1 attack once per battle. Then those are my 2 abhorrents. I have 2 courtier heroes here as well. So one of them is the Crypt Infernal Courtier, and he's obviously around a 6-pack of Flayers. And then I have a Crypt Haunter Courtier, kind of, comboing with a 6-pack of Crypt Horrors. And then I do have a unit of 3 Morbid Knights. Only a few, I don't feel like I have a lot of units. I think you're in a similar boat with kind of what we have on the table. Not a ton of flexibility because we're so concentrated in bigger units, but that's what we've got going on. For battle traits, it's very similar to what we had before for Flesh Eaters, which is the noble deed points allowing you to bring back, models, either 2 points for a knight or 1 for a serf, which I don't have any of them. That's got to be done from courtier heroes. While abhorrents can bring back whole units at half strength, you can now no longer recur those back up to full strength. So that's a little bit more fair and balanced than it was before. Again, lots of interesting rule combinations in here, but it definitely feels like we don't have a lot on the table. Noteworthy, I do have the Flesh-Eater Court's Manifestation lore, as you took the Daughters of Khaine one. And then for the season rules with the Honor Guard, I did give my Flayers priority target, so they'll get +1 to hit and wound against anything that's in your General's regiment.
For my Honor Guard rules, I will have +1 to rend against monster on my pack of 10 hoplites there.
I think, JF, that's it for us.
You won the roll-off for,
Yeah.
we were both 2 drops, because now it's tied to heroes. You have 2 heroes, you have to at least have 2 drops.
Yeah, I did win the roll-off, as you say, to drop first and have choice. I have no idea what to do in 4th edition to begin with, let alone with a Morathi staring me down.
I'm glad you have to take a decision.
Yeah, so JF, I think I'm going to give you the turn, and we'll see how it goes. See if you want to whip her in. You're potentially, losing her by the end of round 2 if you do. So we'll take that risk and jump into Daughters of Khaine, turn 1.
Okay, so as my battle tactic, I will do take their lands, which is control a terrain feature that is wholly outside my territory and at least partially in yours. We each get 4 command points.
Yep.
You get 5.
Yeah, because I am 50 points down at 1950, so I get the bonus in round 1.
Starting off the hero phase, the Doomfire Warlocks have Steed of Shadows Unbound, which would have allowed a unit to run and charge. Next, Morathi casts Mind Razor on the Shadow Queen for +1 rend and damage, but then she also has Steed of Shadows Unbound. Lastly, Morathi casts and summons the Bladewind. First time anyone's ever seen this spell on the table.
At the end of your hero phase, already using these extra command points, I am going to spend 1. We're going to try and cast the Cadaverous Barricade. Looking for a 5. That's an 8. JF, we're getting another on the spell out. And that will actually generate me a noble D point on Usharan.
So, and then we'll jump into movement. Okay, so that's it for movement phase. So shooting phase, we'll have a very small shooting phase because now bows are still out. She will shoot at the flares, so 1 at -3.
Gonna go right through.
For 3.
Bad, I will get 3 ward saves. I don't save any and take 3 damage.
Then the Khaine will shoot at the horrors. 4 at 1 rend. Oh, 6 is crit. Well, whatever.
Saving on 6s then. We don't save any. And ward saves. We then don't save any, and you kill a horror.
And then they will move d6 for 5. So that's it for my shooting phase.
Nice.
Would you like to shoot me back?
No shooting for me.
Okay, let's try to charge with the Shadow Queen. Let's get the 12 like you did.
Okay.
No, it's a 10. That would be great, but... Okay, so my charge fail wasn't successful, but I'm still in combat with the Padisad. So I will use the Shadow Queen as my first activation. And I will attack. Well, that is 9 mortal wound, because I crit.
It's got 1 wound left.
And then, so 2 at -3 rend.
That'll go through, and you'll take down the Cadaverous Barricade.
Oh, yeah.
Stymied by the Cadaverous Barricade, the Shadow Queen wasn't able to reach combat, but is out front and ready for what may come from the Flesh-Eater Courts.
I control more than you, and the flanks, and my tactic, which was to control that thing. So I will score my 10 points.
Full 10, yeah, good start for sure. But JF, it was a great turn of scoring, so I guess I'll have to find a way to answer. And we'll jump into Flesh-Eater Courts, turn 1. All right, so the battle tactic for my turn is going to be attacked on 2 fronts. So I have to take 2 objectives from you, or 2 objectives that I didn't control. One of them has to have been one that you controlled. There's a few options, but the flanked ones are looking especially tasty right now. And then in my hero phase, because I have so many command points, I am going to spend 1 to rally my horrors. Let's look for 4 ups. We got 3, so we don't bring a guy back, but it was worth a try.
Ushoran casts Glimpse of Delusion, forcing Marathi to attack the Melusai, though she only deals 1 damage. Ushoran then casts Deranged Transformation on the Flayers, granting 2 extra inches of movement and +1 to wound rolls. Next, the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist casts Deranged Transformation as well, this time on the Horrors. At the end of the hero phase, the Daughters of Khaine use Magical Intervention, and the Doomfire Warlocks cast the Bloodrack Viper.
All right, so I guess I'll jump into movement then.
Enjoying the battle? Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. In the shooting phase, the Terrorgeist misses with its Death Scream, while the Flayers deal 3 damage to the Shadow Queen and kill 5 Shadow Stalkers.
And then I'm going to jump into charges. So we'll start off with my Terrorgeist, actually. And next I'll go with my Moorbag Knights. They're going to make a 3 and fail. I actually will spend a command point here with them for a 5, which is not going to be enough to make it. So then I'll just go with the Flayers. And then I'll charge the Crypt Infernal Courtier for a 6, is not going to be enough, and he's going to be stuck right there.
At the end of the charge phase, the Shadow Queen attempts to countercharge but comes up just short. Maybe next time.
So starting off with the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, everything obviously into the Canary. Start off with the Gory Talons. Just 6 damage total.
Okay, for 6. 5 go through, so it kills 2, and 1 has 1 wound.
Not that great, but it does put him up to 6 Noble Deed points. And then I'm gonna go with the Flayers next. I will use All Out Attack with them, and I'm gonna put 5 into your Snake Manifestation and 1 into the Shadow Stalkers. 4 at Rend 1, 1 damage.
6s and then 6s, so kills 2.
And then the other 5 into the Manifestation.
So 6 go through.
Okay, I don't take it down, sadly.
Let's see what the Bloodright Viper can do. So 6 damage total.
All right, I got ward saves. I don't save any. That'll see you kill 2 guys, actually.
Next, the Kinnerai deal a single damage to the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist, and the Shadow Stalkers deal another wound to the Flayers. Staying clear of the Shadow Queen, the Flesh Eater Courts dove into the action, but didn't quite have the success they were looking for.
My Flayers failing to take this objective was big. Now I could have put more attacks into the Shadow Stalkers and try and take them down. Obviously, in hindsight, that was the play. I was a little bit just scared of the snake. As we saw, it did kill 2 Flayers, so it was a warranted fear. Without my Moorbag Knights making in, I was really hoping for them to take out the Shadow Stalkers, and I obviously stretched myself a little too thin there, because you will end up with 5 bodies on the objective, and because you killed 2, I will lose that point, which not only loses me hold more, but also the extra 3 points for holding both flank objectives. So I'll get hold 1 and hold 2, and it also actually fails me my battle tactic, which is to take both of the side objectives. So I could have done things a little differently. I mean, failing with my Courtier and my Moorbag Knights was less than ideal. So far for the armies that I've played, it's like there is definitely less damage in the game right now, and I find myself in quite the pickle, down 10-2 after round 1 JF. So that will see us head into priority, and I will be the underdog though going into round 2. Yep. That's a 4 for me.
And a 2 for me. Will you pick the turn and then forgo battle tactic?
Yeah, definitely not the play right now when I'm so many points behind. So I'm gonna kind of put the ball in your court. So we'll jump into Daughters of Khaine, turn 2.
Okay, my battle tactic will be reclaim the realms, which was the secure the battlefield from Stormcast previously. So a unit in each quadrant of the board, not in combat with you.
And because I'm the underdog, I will also make the center objective a home objective. You're already likely to get the flanks, so it makes it easier for me to get the extra points as well.
This turn, Marathi casts Steed of Shadows, allowing the Khaine to run and charge, but then she fails to cast Mind Razor. Next, the Doomfire Warlocks cast Doomfire on the Flayers, dealing 2 damage and taking 1 down.
So that will be my hero phase. I kept this time one unbind with Marathi Khaine.
Well, I am still going to try and cast a spell with magical intervention, and Usharon's going to try and cast Glimpse of Delusion. Looking for an 8 here. We fail it.
Okay, onto movement. And then since I retreated, I take D3 more wounds.
Yep.
For 2, I will try to ward it. I don't, so 1 dies.
1 Khaine down.
So the bow snakes will shoot at the Ghoul King on there, guys. So 3 at -1.
I'll save one of those, take 3.
The Doomfire Warlock will shoot at the Crypt Gas Courtier.
Crypt Infernal Courtier, close. I saved them both.
And that's it for shooting. Now charge phase. We will charge with the Spear Snake. That's it for my charges. Sadly, no 8 up for the first strike.
All right, I am going to spend 2 CP to counter charge. That's a 5, we fail it.
So we'll do the Blade Wing on a 3 up. I ignore positive modifier to save roll for the target for the rest of the turn.
Oh.
But I fail it.
Thank goodness.
And then I will, with the Shadow Queen, use her Rampage. On a 2 up, I have +1 attack characteristic. You take 2 more wounds on the Ghoul King, and then
I save 1, so I'll take 1. Then my Ghoul King will get to do Ferocious Hunger. So on a 3 up, he'll get to crit on 5s against Marathi for the Fanged Maw. Nope.
Okay, and we will start with the Shadow Queen.
And I will go for an all-out defense. With that long shot hope.
I will use all-out attack.
For Marathi on my 5 up ward save. I'll save 4 of them. Love it, just take 2.
Wow, that was way less than I was expecting.
Yes.
The Ghoul King on Terrorgeist fights next and kills 6 Blood Sisters through all-out defense, and then the other unit of Blood Sisters deals 7 damage to the Flayers.
And they will then get to fight back, and they'll put all their attacks here into the Manifestation, yep.
The Flayers swing at the Manifestation, but only deal 1 damage, which claps back and finishes off another Flayer. The Blade Wind then deals 1 damage to the Ghoul King, and the Blood Sisters add 2 more.
Well, that was a bit uneventful. We failed to do much.
Yep.
In combat. I mean, you killed 6 of my hoplites.
Well, you killed a bunch of my flayers. You did actually get some damage on the Terror Dice, but not as much as either of us, I think, were expecting.
My tactic was to get someone on each board quarter. So outside of 6, the Khaine the Shadow Stalkers, the Miluzi Iron Scales, and the Bow Snakes here. And I control either both flank and both home, so I will do again my 10 point, which makes me up to 20.
20 to 2. Yeah, a big lead right now. But we're still in the game. We've still got kind of all of our pieces, though some a little crippled. The fight isn't over yet. So then I guess we'll just jump into Flesh Eater Torts, turn 2. All right, for my battle tactic, I'm gonna go with March for the Grave. So I'm gonna pick an enemy unit that hasn't had any casualties, which is the the Doomfire Warlocks, and I have to kill it this turn.
Starting off the hero phase, Ushoran casts Glimpse of Delusion, causing the Bladewind to attack Marathi and deal 3 damage. Ushoran then has Deranged Transformation Unbound, while the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist casts Carnal Feast on himself, dealing 1 mortal damage to the Blood Sisters.
Ushoran's going to use his Epicenter of Delusion this turn for the Grand Tournament to give charging Flesh Eater Torts heroes +1 to hit. And then that's it for my hero phase. So we'll just jump into movement. I am going to try and retreat my Flayer and suffer D3 mortal wounds. Oh, for just 1! Then I'll try to ignore it, which I do ignore it. I was actually hoping to kill him because I can bring back half the unit right now. And I'm also going to retreat my Ghoul King. He'll suffer 1 mortal wound, and does indeed take it. And that's it for my charges. I will just have my Crypt Infernal Courtier with shooting, and he'll put his shots into the Doomfire Warlocks for D3 damage for 2. All right, then I'm going to get into the charge phase, and we'll start off with Ushoran on a 9. Then we'll go with the Morbag Knights for a 10. And they might do some mortal wounds on impact. They will do 2 to your snake. Then we'll go with the Crypt Infernal Courtier, who makes a 10. And then the Horrors, I'm gonna Snake Eyes it, so I'll spend my last CP to reroll that into an 8, so they're in. And that's it for me for charging. Then at the start of combat, using some abilities, Ushoran has his Shroud Cage Fragment to make stuff fight last. We'll start with the Doomfire Warlocks. I roll a 5, so they're fighting last. And the only other thing in range is the Manifestation. It doesn't have an OC value, but it can't contest objectives. So we're gonna assume that I can make it fight last because it has no OC. But that's something we looked into, but we couldn't find anything in our quick look, so that could be not how you do it. With my sub-faction or my battle formation, on a 3-up, I'd have to make Ushoran fight first, which he does. Which will be a little bit of a bonus. So he's gonna put all his monstrous talons into the Manifestation and his Scepter into the Doomfire Warlocks. So we'll start with the Scepter into the Warlocks for 16 damage in total.
So I save 2, so 14, they are dead.
And then the talons into the Manifestation, 2s.
The Manifestation is down, dreaded one.
Yeah, so that was my strikes first. I would have loved to get Ushoran into the snakes, the combat snakes, to blow them up, but here at least it lets me put the Morbag Knights all into those snakes next, and with Ushoran up to 6 Noble D points, they'll get the extra attack.
And I will allow defense the Blood Sisters.
We'll start with the Riders, and then the Mounts. So 2 damage each again, so 12 damage on your wards.
I save 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 die.
The Blood Sisters retaliate and deal an impressive 12 damage, killing the Morbag Knights.
So then I'll just pile in my Horrors, to tag this objective and one of my heroes. Not getting in combat with little Morathi, but I think that's it for my combat phase, and I'd say it was fairly solid.
Regaining a foothold in this battle, the Flesh Eaters are back in this fight and were so close to having a truly devastating turn.
Could have played this turn out a little differently and maybe capitalized a little more. Again, if I had shot into your manifestation, then with the Impact Mortals, finished it off, Usharan could have got in and clobbered the snakes. All this stuff could have easily, the horrors probably dealt with the
Doomfire Warlocks.
The Doomfires, yeah, exactly. So again, could have played this turn better. In hindsight, but obviously there's so much going on, especially with learning a new edition. With all that considered, it was an all right turn. I'll score hold 1, hold 2. I do get the bonus 3 points because I hold 2 home objectives, so that's going to be 5. I'll complete my battle tactic for 4 points, so that's going to put me at 9. So not a perfect turn, but brings me a lot closer. Puts me in a much better position than I was in the way things were looking before, right? So let's go.
Priority roll. I got a 5.
That's a 4.
I will take it, because giving it to you you don't lose a battle tactic on it. So.
And I think I probably would have taken it even if I hadn't won it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, JF, lots to do. So we'll jump into Daughters of Khaine, turn 3. I'll keep it a home objective because there's no advantage to me to deny points in any way, so.
Okay, my battle tactic will be do not waver. So I have to fight with 2 or more friendly units, and none of my units might have been destroyed during this turn.
In the hero phase, the Daughters of Khaine rally back 2 Blood Sisters. Then Morathi fails Mind Razor, but does cast Doomfire, though the Ghoul King wards the incoming damage.
And then at the end of the turn, I'm going to go for another magical intervention with Usharan. Usharan's going to try and cast Glimpse of Delusion. Looking for an 8. That's a 6 and a 2 for 8.
Morathi Khaine.
We get it off, so we're going to have the Blade Wind attack the Shadow Queen again.
Oh. 6s, 1, 6.
So only 2 damage.
Exactly.
Then we'll also spend a command point to rally with the Ghoul King, and he'll heal 4 wounds. So he's got 3 on him only.
Okay, so movement. That is the end of my movement phase to you. Okay, shooting phase will start with the bow snakes into the Ghoul King.
Starting off shooting, the bow snakes target the Ghoul King and deal 2 damage, while the Kinnerai do no damage at all. Next, the Shadow Queen tries to finish the job, but only deals 3 more wounds. Then the Shadow Stalkers fail to pierce the Ghoul King's ward save.
So end of shooting phase. So I will charge with the Shadow Queen. She's in. That's it for charges.
All right, I think I'm gonna spend 2 for a counter charge. I really want to go with Usharan, but the smarter play is to do the horrors, I think. They make a 6, and that was the right choice. So they are in there now. And then I might as well use Ferocious Hunger against the Shadow Queen with my Ghoul King on Terrorgeist. And he does, so I'll crit on 5s with the Maw.
And I will use All Out Slaughter on the little Morathi, because it needs to be in infantry. So she will fight twice, the second time on Strike Last. So we will start with the Shadow Queen.
Moving into combat, the Shadow Queen splits her attacks and deals an astounding 21 damage, finally killing the Ghoul King, and also doing 3 damage to the Horrors. Fighting back, the Horrors engage Morathi and deal 3 damage, but then suffer 4 wounds from her retaliation. Striking last, Morathi fights again, killing 1 more Horror. As this bloody battle continues, the daughters of Khaine refuse to back down and continue to build on their earlier advantage.
So I will make again my 10 points because I fought with 2 units and none of them died.
Yep.
And I control the flank and this one, so I control more than you, which makes another 10 point for a 30 point.
Yes, all right, 30 to 11. Now's the time we gotta make the comeback. And we got a shot, but losing the dual Khaine on Terror Dice hurts. So that's a little disappointing, but again, we've got a shot at this. So Jeff, let's jump into Flesh Eater Torts, turn 3. All right, so we've got a big goal for this turn, and I'm gonna choose the battle tactic of Slay the Entourage to go alongside it. And I have to pick something in your general's regiment. I'm actually gonna pick your general herself and call out taking down the Shadow Queen or Morathi. So that's that. Into the hero phase.
Ushoran has Carnal Feast unbound, but does cast the Miasma of Madness on Morathi, though her ward save prevents all the damage.
Worded.
Rude. That is it for my hero phase, unfortunately. So we're gonna jump into movement.
Before that, I will rally with the Shadow Sucker since they're close to my Zealous Orator. So it brings them all back.
Oh, brutal. And then for Ushoran's Delusion this turn, he's gonna go for Crusading Army to add +1 to run and charge rolls. And then I'll jump into movement.
Want to help support the channel? Toss over a super chat or super thanks to help us expand our armies and make the content even better.
And then in movement, Ushoran is going to spend his 6 Noble Deed points with a heavy heart and bring back 2 Morbid Knights. Into shooting, we'll start off with the Crypt Infernal Courtier, and he's going to shoot at Morathi for 7 damage.
You have taken down the big wing.
Nice. And because I actually killed a model there, I do give the +1 damage to my single Flayer. And the Flayer is only in range of your combat snakes over here, so I might as well shoot them because it is 2 damage each.
1 damage kills the what? That had a one.
Okay. Then we are into charges. We do have +1 from Ushoran's Delusion.
Just before you charge, I will shoot with my my bow snakes.
So shooting at the Crypt Infernal Courtier. Yeah, so 7 damage. And I've got to make 2 ward saves here. We make 1, he dies to the wound. But then we still got some charges to do. Hoping for some longer ones. We do have the +1 from Ushoran. So we'll start off with the Horrors. With a 7, they'll be in. We'll see if Ushoran makes the your guys fight last. He does. And then does he get strike first? He does not. So then into combat, no CP to spend, but we're to put all my Horrors into your Iron Scale.
The Horrors deal 3 damage to the Iron Scale, who immediately fights back and kills 1 Horror. Ushoran is next to fight, focusing his undead rage at the Blood Sisters, and he completely wipes them out. Dealing some massive blows, the Flesh Eater Courts continue fighting and finally score the elusive 10-point turn.
Not all I hoped and dreamed for this turn. It was solid. I'll score, hold 2, hold more, 2 home objectives for 6 points for primary. I get my battle tactic for another 4 for a 10-point turn, so it's 30 to 21 right now. But I really was hoping to get all the, some more charges in over here. I want the Morbid Knights in to do damage. It was unfortunate to lose the 1 Courtier because I really just need them to start getting Noble Deed points because I haven't gotten any combat activations with my Courtiers.
I didn't think I would kill it with the bows. But my point was, if you don't activate him first, which you kind of don't necessarily want, or like it threatens to kill it before.
Yeah, for sure. You get damage on there, right? And that's a good thing. The other thing that was actually pretty disappointing was for Ushoran not to get fights first, because that would have given me an extra attack on those Horrors. He obviously got up to 6 Noble Deed points. So with his big 24-inch bubble, the extra attack would have been potentially potentially the opportunity to get 6 more damage through. They didn't do great overall, so it is what it is. But
at this point, I think it's like anyone's game because I have a 9-point lead.
Yeah.
But you have way more in terms of like actual firepower on the board with Usharan, which is full elf, and then like your Morbig's Knights. Like I don't have much left.
I really needed to start to 9 points, and that's where getting that objective and pushing you off of it would have been really big, especially after the massive rally. But
exactly.
Again, didn't get it, and yeah, JF, that'll see us go into round 3 prio or round 4 prio. You win it,
and I will take it.
Okay, so again, we'll jump into Daughters of Khaine, turn 4. All right, this turn we'll make the center objective a flank objective.
My battle tactic will be attack on 2 front, which is the one you did. So I got to take back 2 objectives from you at this point. Now I have no spell casting. I will still use a command point to rally on the spears on my left for 3, so just 1 gets back, and that would be my hero phase.
At the end of the hero phase, I will spend a command point for magical intervention and try and cast a Cardinal Feast with Usharan on my horrors. We'll fail it though.
Into Daughter of Khaine movement.
All right, I will spend a command point to redeploy Usharan actually for a 6.
Okay, so shooting phase.
The Khinnerai shoot at the horrors and take 1 out, then move d6 inches. The Shadowstalkers then take aim at the Crypt Haunter Courtier and take him out as well. Next, the Bloodstalkers shoot at the Morbig Knights, dealing 6 damage and killing them to the exact wound.
Charge with the spears, 8. That should do it. And that's it for my charges. Start of combat, I will start with the Iron Scale.
Unfortunately for the horror, that's all it'll take, and it's dead too. I think this has been the bloodiest turn so far. The Daughters of Khaine aren't messing around in 4th edition.
Okay, so that was the end of Daughter of Khaine turn. When I would say way better than I was anticipating. We
Full
got
360 it feels like in terms of the board.
Like I spiked with the Shadowstalkers. Now they can teleport and shoot because they have a 10-inch charge and they're like less than an inch. And then kill like your hero to the wound. I shot with the Bow-Snakes, kill the Morbig Knights to the wound. And then of course like here.
Yeah, cleaning lots of stuff up, really. Mopping up. Yeah, so not leaving me with much left besides 6 noble D points, but
yeah. So you'll have 3 horrors back this turn, but this mission, with the smaller objective, you cannot like get onto a point just by returning models. You have to make a charge or. Yeah,
it's gonna be tough here. Lots to fight for. Again, just need to start denying some points, which is going to be a challenge, but JF's not going down without a fight. So we're going to Fleshier towards turn 4. All right, so my battle tactic is going to be take their land, and I'm going to target the terrain piece here in the woods. And then I'm going to spend a command point to rally my flayers. I heal this one up to full, which is kind of why I didn't bother doing it before.
Usharan fails to cast the Corpsemare Stampede, but does cast Glimpse of Delusion, forcing the Melusai Iron Scale to attack and kill 2 Blood Sisters.
Not quite it for my hero phase. I am going to use Usharan's Epicenter of Delusion for Crusading Army again for +1 to run and charge rolls. And then I'm going to head into movement.
I will rally also with my general. I will do it on the spears. So 1 comes back and that's it.
All right, then into movement. Then in my movement phase, Usharan is going to spend 6 noble deed points to summon 3 horrors. And they'll come in back here. Then in shooting, I'm going to shoot my flare at your bow snakes. Finish another one.
I will use covering fire with the bow snakes.
Shooting at the flare. That's be 5. I need to just make 2 wards here or I lose my battle tactic and I don't make anything. All right, then into charging, we'll start off with the horrors. They make it in. On 2-up, I'm going to make the snakes fight last. I do. On a 3-up, I made Usharan fight first. I fail that, which is the one I need, so I can get the delusion points. That's that. So I'm going to jump into combat, and I'll start off with the horrors going into the Shadowstalkers, and they'll use all-out attack.
The horrors swing next, but leave a single Shadowstalker alive who manages to deal 1 wound with his retaliation. Ushoran fights next, though the Blood Sisters use all-out defense and only suffer 3 casualties. The Blood Sisters then pile in and deal a total of 9 damage back to Ushoran.
And that's going to be it for the turn. And again, with just the way things went, is a pitiful turn for storing. I'll just hit hold 1, hold 2. And then with you shooting off my flare with covering fire, I lose my battle tactic as well. Usharan needed to do 1 more damage here. JF, it was a 2-point turn then for me, so it's to be 40 to 23, and we can just roll a quick prio for round 5.
I got a 1.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter to roll prio because there's no way I can afford to give away the turn. Doesn't matter if I take it or not here. And this is kind of one of the downsides. Like, I want to take it to store and deny points and all that, but I can't store if I take the turn, so that's. As a combat mechanic, the priority change makes that a little bit harder. But
yeah, because you would score 6 at most this
yeah,
turn.
and that's just obviously not enough, let alone like 10 isn't even enough. But had it been closer, it's like I just have to give it away, and you get the opportunity to store max. Doesn't give me much chance to come back. It was a lot of fun. It was a great game, but a lot of like little moments that just like didn't go my way, right? Everything from like, I think the Morbid Knights at the start of the game failing their charge, left your Shadowstalkers alive so they could teleport, rally, teleport, take objectives, store your battle tactics, kill stuff. Like, how many units did I leave and you guys, rally dies back? And I think I definitely made some errors early in the game, like turn 2 of like activating different places. That turn I didn't take the big snake spell down. Stopping Usharan from going into those snakes would have let me take that side of the board, keep my Morbid Knights alive, let both my courtiers rack up some noble deed points as well. You saw the opportunities there, and I just, inexperience with fleshier courts and obviously, learning a new edition and everything, just didn't put myself in a position to capitalize on them.
Yeah, I think this is not representative of what it could have been. Like, leaving your models with 1 wounds makes a difference because you can heal them, and then you can tag objectives with them, you can bring back models. There is a bunch of stuff that was clearly in my favor. 2, I would say, take away from this first game. First, wizards are amazing.
Yes.
Because you cannot unbind your opponent's spell if you don't have wizard, and since you all have access to manifestation lore, spawning a endless spell that can attack, block, protect your pieces on your opponent's turn. This is amazing. But
yes, there are even the Incarnate or the Viper. There's so many opportunities to do that. That's I think the name of the edition. There's so much counterplay, ways to mess with your opponent's turn. We saw you denied 2 tactics from me. I mean, summoning the endless spell kind of denied 1. That was partially error as well. But your bow snakes, I even rallied my die up to full health, killed a bunch of your bow snakes. You only had 2 left, and they still, have an opportunity to deny a battle tactic, right?
Yeah, and that was my second point. It's denying tactic and the counterplay is so much fun, and but it's also takes a lot of your brain. So much counterplay makes the game for me way more fun, I think. I like denying people to win. I prefer that of winning myself. So I really enjoy, and I really looking to watch other armies and play them. So that was sincerely a tremendous amount of fun.
Yeah, no, that was an awesome game. Lots to learn and lots of fun to see the different things in action. Obviously, so many different impactful moments and big plays and whatnot. So that was a lot of fun. Looking at Flesh Eaters, I actually really think this is a great army, and I'm excited about them. Usharan here was awesome. Besides this last combat interaction, he slapped a ton of stuff. Casting spells was great. He used up to noble deed points. The fight first with him actually could have come up big 2 different times, but the last 2 times I think I failed it, which would have just let me activate him first, get the noble deed points to then, maybe I kill the Iron Scale. You don't get to rally again with different things. Or here, you don't have another stalker surviving, stopping me from doing things. Like, I
was very afraid of Usharan. I left him alone as much as I could. Yeah.
But unfortunately for me, you having the counterpiece of Marathi, who's so hard to deal with, like, Marathi is going to win that battle in terms of like longevity, right? So that's like where I didn't want Usharan in combat with her so much. So when she was center board, I kind of like had to play timid with him. And another good point to talk about too, like we've talked about with the priority being in the favor of going first in the round, is I had the choice again to take or give away turn 1, and there's more reasons to take it now. Not to say that was the right play. Like here, I didn't really have cheap scoring units to like grab objectives and whatnot, and that's maybe one downside of this list and this build, where if I put, what am I putting there? Horrors, flayers, or whatnot, you're immediately getting into that stuff, right? With your combat snakes, with your, Marathi. So that's why I felt I kind of had to give away the turn in this build.
Yeah, I agree. On the Daughter of Khaine side, Marathi, she's like very expensive, 100 points more than what she was, but felt very good as she did. I mean, the fact that it's 3 casts again, I feel on the +1, but I feel like these casts are more valuable than they used to be. And she doesn't bracket, so also like keeps her very strong all throughout the game.
Yep.
I mean, I think it's still like if you're running combat snakes, the faction that allows you to strike first on a modifier 8 charge roll of 8+ could be good. The bows were surprising. That's the thing that surprised me the most. Cause
yeah, they're from what we saw in this game, at least, if this is representative, they are going to be very solid.
They're worst maybe against high safe units because they don't do mortal wounds. Yeah. But in general, I think they're better.
And even the combat snakes, did work at times. Like up to 2 damage now is really solid. I killed a bunch with the Morbid Knights and you obliterated them on the fight back. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think, the army felt more solid than I thought it would on paper.
Yep.
But yeah, that was sincerely very fun. I think this edition is going to be like, I will want to play more of this 4th edition than I probably used to. So
yeah, that's fair. But yeah, no, it was a great game here. Good win for the Daughters of Khaine. Slipped through our fingers, it feels like, for Fleshier Courts. We definitely had some opportunities, but didn't capitalize. So great game though, JF. It was a lot of fun. Guys, hope you enjoyed that battle report as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, if you want more content, you can get extra battle reports every week by joining our channel membership on YouTube. You also get access to our private Discord and a bunch of other perks. No matter what, thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you guys in the next battle report.